Hello, hello, hello. We are live.
Hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody.
If you are here, will you do me a huge favor and just say hi in the chat so that we know we've got some people and that y'all can hear us and see us.
How you doing, Mads?
Looks
Welcome
like
in, Nessie.
we've got a couple people here. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Trial TV Live can hear you. How are you doing, awesome. Gini Risinger?
Good. Yeah, except for my back hurting, but you know that already, so. But yeah, I'm a mess as always.
Yeah. Hi, Cat 8 the Canary. 8 Canary. Hey. That's cute.
That's a cute name.
That's a cute name. Yeah. How has everybody's week been? Good. I think it's snowed in parts of the country. It's a bit chilly here in Florida. Did you get snow?
No.
Jenny?
We had like it spit snow and then we had some like ice, but then it just went away. But it's been really cold. It's been like in the 20s, 30s. And we've had wind. Like our wind chill today, I think, was 22. So, yeah. And at night, of course, it gets even colder. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it was like 36, but then the wind chill was 22.
I'm trying to see
what it is. It's supposed to be warmer tomorrow. So I don't know what it is right now.
Do you like winter? Because I had to leave the north. Like I could not ever again.
It's too cold. It's pretty to look at, but
no, I don't even like looking at it because then I just think about all the shoveling or whatever needs to be done. It's 58 here right now, so that's not too bad.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So yeah, we did hit a milestone. We crossed over 100 and have 115 subs right now. Trial TV Live is currently streaming a intense trial, and we have quite the overlapping audience. Although one half of Trial TV Live is here with us tonight because she keeps things going for me.
Yes, she does. She's a big help.
I have technical difficulties. A lot.
It's all a learning process. We'll get it.
Yeah, it's learning a whole new well, not only learning StreamYard, but also I'm keeping everything like in the Google universe, which is not where I normally work. So, you know, I live in the Apple sphere of things and or Firefox or what, like I'm trying to keep separations between my own personal stuff, my work stuff, which is in an encrypted setup, and then this. And it's all going to probably get messed up.
Let's see, I'm all Google. I don't do
Erin's saying the same thing
Apple,
with her. Because she has a Mac. Yeah, see, if you have all Apple products like I do, then they just communicate with each other, you know, and you learn how to do all of that. Hi, Mads. Thank you so much for joining us again this week. I appreciate you.
Me too.
I have tried to put some stuff together for us to look at. If we don't mind, I'm just going to give it another minute or two and see if anybody else comes in. I don't know if I have any Taylor Swift fans watching, but I am a late in life Swiftie, and I'm in a little bit of mourning this weekend because it is the very last weekend of the Eras tour, which has been going on for 2 years. So I have all my friendship bracelets on. Some of them were custom made by my friend Bethany, who I met on the internet. I've made a lot of internet friends this year. And I'm wearing my Florida What a Drug. It's one hell of a drug shirt. And
I'm a Stitchy. You're a Swiftie. I'm a Stitchy.
And I've been hi Mama. And I've been staying up late to watch these very last live streams because we're expecting her to do something unexpected and it's wrecking my life because they're in Vancouver. So it's like 3:00 in the morning. I was over at Walgreens buying pasta sauce.
Oh my God.
At Only you is my mother. Hello, C. Morales.
Hello, Mama.
Hello, Mama. She says it's cold there in chilly Columbus. We
Oh, that.
originate from Ohio. So, well, what I have planned for today or tonight is to discuss some sentencing. And I did put materials together. We're going to see how that goes in terms of me being able to present it. And I don't know that I'll get through everything tonight, especially if anyone has any questions about anything. But what Jenny did for me,
Sue, Mama Sue.
Mom can't hear us. Can everybody else hear us? Because that would be a mom problem.
Now, Mama Sue.
Mom, I think it's you. Everybody else can hear us, right? Oklahoma in the 30s at night, but
right? Okay, I checked my phone. It's coming through on my other thing.
Western Canada, warm for the time of year. Western Canada. Wow. Where is Taylor? She's in Vancouver. Where is that, Mads? I know you're not a fan, but if you're from Canada, geography me.
Jake wants to go there. My son Jake, he wants to go to Canada.
Okay, so yeah, it's my mom. It's a mom issue. We have those
mother-in-law's on here. If you are, hello, Linda. If you're here, I know she can't comment.
We've had a couple.
I hope she's here.
People in 4 hours away in I'm not even gonna try. Kelowna.
Kelowna. It sounds like a Hawaiian name.
You know, I just don't know. I just don't know. So we had a big week for sentencing. Kelowna. Thank you. She spelled it out for us like Jenny did with her name.
Oh, yeah. Gini Risinger.
I think I see you say the G hard in your name. So we had the Sarah Boone sentencing, and then we had the Ashley Benefield sentencing. What did you think, Jenny, about Sarah Boone?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know how to put her into words. I really don't. The things that she said, she was more interested in talking about everyone else, about how she forgave everyone else instead of, please forgive me. I forgive you for treating me this way. I forgive him for beating me. I forgive all these things. Yeah.
Said, and I forgive the court.
I forgive the jury for treating me that way. I forgive social media. I forgive court TV and I'm like, Law&Crime. What? Who? What? It's like, the more I listen to it, I'm like, why? I don't. And then she, like, the first half of it was like a well-written book. Like, she was very well written.
Yeah, she was. I don't know if you saw me the other night. I was on Trial TV, Chris Squeegee of Justice's show. I thought I saw you in the chat there.
Yeah.
And some people in chat were saying that some of what she was saying there in the beginning of that, they had seen before on Facebook or in books.
Yeah.
And I haven't been on Facebook in 10 years.
Wow. Yeah, she does, Madge. You're right. Yeah, she doesn't get it. Yeah, she thinks that she's God's gift to the world and everybody should just follow her and do what she wants. And I think, like you were talking, Sam, I think that's one of the reasons why the judge didn't speak to her. I think he'd had it with her, number one. And number two, he didn't want her to have any more spotlight than what she already had. Exactly. So I think it was, I just don't understand why she had to be so, well, she is. She's very narcissistic and very, very self-centered. And we saw that through the whole trial. But to see it there at the end, it still just blows my mind. And then you have Ashley, who didn't talk at all. She just sat there like,
the whole time. Exactly.
She barely looked up.
I don't feel like, I was supposed to go and I couldn't go. So I had to watch it from here. And I was texting with Billy Lane, who was in the courtroom. But he didn't really give me a feel for, how it was, how it felt in there. But it seemed to me like she had no remorse. Cat 8 Canary, I saw your question. It is a Florida case. I pulled up the motion. I pulled up the actual statute about it. Thank you, Erin. So I do have it in like my roster of items to cover. You had that question. Mel had a question. I don't know if Mel's here. My guess is she's watching the trial over on Trial TV, and we'll have to catch up on the replay. Jenny had taken notes from, I think, maybe my last stream and maybe chats that you witnessed this week. Is that fair?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Jenny had written down some. Yeah, I saw your question, girl. I saw you. And Ashley Benefield's case is here in Florida. So I pulled it up. Now that's not saying that we're going to get to see it. I'm going to try. I'm going to try, you guys. I need to like take a class on how to use StreamYard. I'm pretty sure.
I think you're doing great.
Well, we've not tried this part yet. No. And Trial TV Live, if you guys don't know, they run clean trial streams, and one half of that pair is here. She kind of is the training wheels. Her name is Erin.
Yeah, she helps a lot.
She saves me. She saved the very first stream.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I used to be technologically capable, and anymore I'm just like, really? It's too much. I can't. So her other half, who is known as the thank you, Erin. I love you guys too. Her other half, who is the squeegee of justice, is currently streaming a trial that is in session today. So we share a lot of subscribers, and that is to say that a lot of Trial TV subscribers have come over and subscribed here, for which I am very grateful. Yes, C. Morales, they are great people. They've been super helpful. And I have been on Shooting the Shit with Squeegee, I think 3 times now. Yeah, I think we did an interview. I think the first time I was on there, he just straight up interviewed me. And then I was on this week with Jules talking about the sentencings. And then I feel like I was on another time, and of course it completely escapes me what that was for. I can't remember.
You were on before that too, weren't you? About the sentencing. Weren't you on without Jules?
I feel like one time I was, because Jules was maybe not feeling well and was supposed to be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy talking to Chris, and he's got great insights from watching these cases and paying such close attention to it.
Yeah.
I think it's really impressive, and I have to start, if I'm going to be talking about any of these cases, then what I've learned is I'm going to have to start taking some notes, because
I do. I take them. So
I know you take them. As we have
a couple notebooks.
As we all know, my memory is crap, and I get things confused, and again, my whole desk is in total chaos. And just before I came on, I found out that a case I've been working on for, I want to say almost 3 years now. It was a man in Seminole County we thought we could get him a new trial, and the judge denied it.
Ugh.
And so that's a big disappointment. Hey, Amy crew. Welcome. So that was a little disappointing, and I may talk about that case in a future episode. And then thinking ahead, we're going to do Cellbrite stuff, right? We're going to do, so when we do the phones, we're going to do what is Cellbrite and what that looks like. That is, if I can actually make this presentation portion work, or have figured it out by then. We're going to do that, but we're also going to look at the warrants and how the cops are getting away with
the stuff that they get away with.
with these huge broad searches, because per the Constitution, it's not supposed to be like that. And more lawyers need to be paying attention to that. So, yes. Cat 8 Canary says, my specialty is worthless notes. I like to know pet names.
I print mine out this week. Things we want to talk about.
Jenny is my other savior. Really and truly, this is not my channel. Like, this is a channel. This is a channel where other people prop me up and I come on here and talk at you. So yeah, we're gonna do Cellbrite. I want to do the warrants, and then the carrier. Oh my God, I do this every single time. The CDR records, which are the carrier records, because I think somewhere along the line I told you they don't need your phone. They can get a lot of information just through the carrier. And that's a different thing than Cellbrite is. So we're going to look at that. And Cat 8 Canary, are you talking about Gray Key? Jason! Hi, love. How are you?
Hi, Jason.
Hi, Jason. I was just telling everybody that I'm wearing my Taylor Swift bracelet and my Florida What a Drug shirt and my red lipstick because it's the last weekend of the Eras tour.
Mine wasn't on purpose. I just picked it out.
Jason got
What's
dragged.
A pinky red?
Jason got dragged to the Eras tour in Paris.
That's Jeffree Star
with me. Hi. So nice of you to come in and say hi.
I've heard great things about Jason.
Jason is hilarious. And I have known him since we figured it out. 1997 was when I graduated from college and I re-enrolled because I didn't know what the hell else to do. And I met him. I met him standing outside the hallway for an English class that we were both in. And then we drank a lot of margaritas for the next couple of years. A lot of margaritas. Some of us more than others. Those were sangria margaritas. Oh my God, they were frozen. They were like this big. This was in Texas. So, and they had the happy hour had a quesadilla bar, like where they were like making the tortillas and the quesadillas like in line for free. Those are the days. Yeah,
wow,
Jason,
that's cool.
Yeah, we had fun. It was fun. We had a lot of fun. Okay, so anyway, I already went off on a tangent. All right, so today we are looking at sentencing, and we talked a little bit about. Jason doesn't remember ever eating. I remember the eating because that food was good. And you were the one that reminded me about French fries and ranch at some place out there near where you are, which I can't remember the name of it, freaking anything. Hey, LW,
hey.
Welcome. See, I knew if I just sat here and rambled for a minute, we'd get some folks in.
And we're good at that. I like French fries dipped in Wendy's Frosties.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't had Wendy's for a long time. But you have to take it and dip it in the chocolate Frosties.
All right.
That's good.
Vernon's Grill. Thank you, Jason. Yeah. Rena brought us there. That whole crew. God, that was fun. We had a lot of fun in our 20s in Dallas, Texas. Really, really.
I have a friend of mine that lives in Texas.
So, all right. So Sarah was a thing. And I think the only person who was surprised that Sarah got life was Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Owen said that he was, but I don't think he meant that he was. I think he was surprised. I think he was surprised that, I don't know how to say it. I think he was surprised of how it went as far. I think he was surprised that Judge Crane he didn't miss a beat. He said, Sarah Boone, you're going to jail forever. Basically, I sentenced you to life. And then got up and left. It was like, you can
Owens won't stop talking though,
heels.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, his interview outside the courthouse went on.
I know.
Stopped watching it.
Yeah, but he was a good lawyer for her. Like, he did exactly what he had to do. So people can't. We didn't like him. We didn't like the way he did things, but you got to give him credit. He is a good defense
He's
lawyer for her.
well,
He did
he
exactly
stepped
what
in
she
and
wanted him to do.
he did what she wanted. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, he really couldn't do anything else because Sarah was
She
Sarah.
was
And as you know from working with her,
I said this on Squeegee's show the other night, and that I know this to be true, that someone early on in the defense team realm, very early, very, very early on in her case, came in, and my guess is without seeing all of the evidence, said, "There's no way a jury's going to convict you. This is 100% DV."
oh my gosh.
And she
Yes. Yeah. He must not watch those,
well, no, of course
accidents.
not. Like when I worked on that case, I didn't even like I was blown away in trial. I had not seen those videos of George.
They were awful.
So I don't think that I think that that earlier person on that portion of the defense was just taking her at her word. And that's like the
Yeah.
worst thing you can do is take
Right.
someone at their word. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. You know, I'm going through that right now with another client who is telling the lawyer one thing, and then they tell them that I should talk to this person because this person knows all the things. I talk to that person knows nothing, and it's going around and around, and the lawyer's mad at me.
Yeah. Well,
LW says, I think the big thing I learned was that everyone who did dramatic readings of her letters didn't even get close to the bizarreness of her speech patterns, her weird accent slam poetry. Yeah. Okay.
well, I know
That's fair.
Mike didn't watch much of it, but when he did, the expressions that she made with her mouth, the snickering that she always did, the smirking, he said he thinks that was like just her. Like, that's just the way she is.
Yeah.
Because she did it all the time. He said, so you never knew whether or not she was cunning or whether it was just her.
Yeah.
So like, you couldn't read her.
Yeah.
She was just out there on flying that kite a little high.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, and the whole thing that really irritates me the most about any trial, I don't care who it is, they find God and they use God as an excuse at the end. Every time it comes to sentencing, they always do.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I know that didn't air. I should show them that one. The Nickelodeon video.
The video of Sarah on Nickelodeon when she was younger.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I didn't really notice her having an accent, but that's because I've been listening to her talk for so long.
Yeah, I didn't.
You know,
I don't notice it either.
I
One thing I hear is the whininess and.
Hey, there's Mel. I just mentioned you and see you have appeared because I took one of your questions I'm going to attempt to answer for you tonight. So, so Sarah was a whole thing, and that'll be interesting. I'm wondering if any of the major networks actually reach out to her, like a Dateline or something like 48 Hours, and interview her. Do you know what I'm talking about? How they go into the prison sometimes, and they will like Karen Reed. She's not in prison, but
they went to her house. Yeah,
they went and just interviewed her, and Barbara Walters used to do it. Diane Sawyer,
he did the Menendez,
right? She would go in and do Keith Morrison. A lot of them do. Yeah. Well, what didn't Jodi Arias do, Aaron? I mean, really? Yeah. No, you are not too late for your answer, Mel. Amy says, I would have loved a speech from the judge, but understood why he didn't give one. I agree 100%. I wanted to hear him say, you treated everyone here like just absolute crap. But I think that what he did actually hit her much harder than any words could have.
Yeah. It's like in the Daybell case. The Daybell, he gave Lori all kinds of messages, but then when it came to Chad, not a word.
Nothing.
Yep. And I think it's because of that. I think because with Chad, I think he didn't change his expression basically the whole entire time. But I think with him, he didn't want to put him more in the limelight than he already was. So it's kind of the same. And of course, now Lori wants to Lori is going to represent herself now in Arizona, and that's going to be
a carnival.
That's going to be a crap show, just like if Sarah would have. Yeah, think about it. If Sarah didn't have Owens, we would still be waiting for her to go to trial.
Yeah, no, for sure. Cat 8 Canary, you're not that old because I remember Barbara Walters. I mean, I think a lot of us here.
I do too. I remember the Menendez brothers interview.
The Gen X fear or
Yep.
time frame, so we
Yep.
remember.
Yep.
Um,
Baba Wawa.
LW says the rich country club in the Flintstones is the accent, faux posh, the way Sarah was speaking.
Yeah.
The judge, by not even bothering to speak, made her totally invisible and minimized, and that was her greatest
Yes.
punishment. I agree.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
agree.
Yep.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. And it looks like Mel and Amy, they agree too. Yeah, Barbara
Yeah.
Walters was great. Is she still alive? I don't
No.
know.
Mm-mm. And remember
see,
Saturday Night Live, Gilda Radner? She used to call her Baba Wawa.
yeah.
Any
I
guys here remember that? Baba
too.
Wawa.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
now I always think that. I think Baba Wawa.
Yeah, I think
Then
this
we had
chat, most of the subscribers to this channel, are Gen X women with cats. The majority, not all,
and of course
but
there's
I
me
think
over here with
with a
dogs and
zoo,
snakes
right?
and
You
with my zoo and my
you've got
geckos
a
and my mice
you've got,
and
yeah.
yeah.
Yes, for sure. So then we
Yep.
also, just to touch on it super quickly before I get to attempting to tell people information they would like to know, Ashley Benefield. I
That was
also talked to Chris on his show the other night about that. Her trial, I listened to more than I sat and watched.
yeah.
So I did not
Yeah.
watch the recreation of the
That
shooting, because
just the way
what
she
I
was. I don't know. I don't the recreation, the way they showed it. I just don't see how it would happen the way she did. The way she
well, I
said.
didn't see that part,
Yeah.
because what I will do is I will turn on these cases, these trials in the background for
Mm-hmm.
me. This was before I kind of knew I was going to be talking to anyone about any of it.
Right.
So, with her case, I listened to a lot of it. I didn't know it the way I knew Sarah's case.
Right.
I didn't know Ashley, like her
Yeah, I listened to a lot of
persona.
that one too, except toward the end. But yeah, I did a lot of listening to that one too.
And I think when we were talking about it the other night, there were people in Chris's chat and Squeegee's, LW, I'm going to make your wish come true. Billy Lane will be on this
Yep.
channel. I have
Looking
talked to
forward to that.
him. Yes, so we will get that. Let's see. Many things she forgave George for never happened. The family did nothing. Yeah, I see what you're saying. LW's
Yeah.
back on, is still on Sarah Boone. So she says many things that she forgave George for never happened. The family did nothing. Is there a way to make that clear, to give some little peace? Well, I think that the family knows what happened for real,
Yeah. I
and
think there was some on both sides, but I think Sarah was the main aggressor.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Amy says that was a weaponized apology from a stinking liar. Yeah. So LW, I was texting with Billy during that sentencing. And I used to work with him. So I asked him at the we were talking about something else, but I said, I started a channel and they're asking for you. Will you come on? And he said, absolutely. So he has a nonprofit, which I want to promote. And I want to discuss with Chris and Aaron, maybe because they have a bigger base. So it would be a bigger message to get out. So maybe we can do something together. And then as far as Sarah is concerned, I kind of want to I don't want to ambush him with live questions. So I may ask for questions ahead of time. I don't know.
Yeah, I would too. Because
I'm
there's
still
probably
trying
like a
to.
thin line on what he can say and what he can't.
Yeah, exactly. And Billy is not one to. He's not a James Owens who's going to sit and
Yeah.
talk forever. So that is coming. He is coming to the channel for sure. Okay, so there's some questions about boomers. My parents are boomers. My mother is here. She said hello earlier, LW. So there are several of you. Cat ate canary too, so it's fine. All ages are accepted here. Sarah's
Yes.
boring. Even if she has 50 different versions, you guys are going to be insightful. I'm glad you're doing it. Thanks. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Like I said, I want to kind of plan it out and make sure it's a
Yeah.
good interview and a good situation for Billy, because he has worked on a lot of cases y'all have seen, and he's got a lot of insight. So I wouldn't expect it to come this year, but we'll get it out
Yeah.
the beginning of next year, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, Owens was ready to make a fast escape, Amy Crew, but then, man,
Yeah.
he just never
Yeah. Then
have
he
you
goes out and
ever
talks
heard
outside to everybody.
Have you ever
Yeah.
heard an attorney talk so much? I mean,
No.
that they weren't
I
getting
mean, during
paid
the
for it.
trial and after the trial, but yeah, I think part of
Yeah,
the reason why he took that was to be in the spotlight. He always says he did it for Sarah. I don't think he did it for Sarah. I really don't. I think he did it to be in the spotlight. But he did good for Sarah.
maybe.
He did.
I mean, we may never
Yeah.
know. So Amy says
Yeah.
Melody Ferris, the Whoville diatribe was insane at sentencing. I did not watch any of Melody
Yeah.
Ferris.
I
I
went
did
back and I
not.
was watching Trial
I have
TV.
to
I was
work
watching
every
on
once in a
Chris's. I was
while.
watching Chris's.
Every
Yeah.
once in a while I have to work.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh,
these are
yeah.
things that have to
She
happen.
blamed her son and said that they need to go after her son. It was just insane. It was worse than, well, I don't know if anything's worse than Sarah, but as far as pointing fingers, that was bad. It was really bad.
LW, you did see him. He was right behind Sarah. He was bald, and he was in the bottom corner of the screen, bottom
Hey, Judy.
left-hand corner of the screen. I sent him a screenshot of his head. Judy is saying Owens wanted to be on court TV. And it's entirely possible.
Yeah.
The way that case
Yeah.
blew up, oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, Aaron. It was wild. Yeah, it was. I can still see her face. I mean, you can't get rid of the Whoville face, but yeah, just to hear her. And they even told her she can't retestify, or not retestify, but she can't rehash the trial and try to get a new. But she did. He let her get away with it 99% of the time.
So she spoke at her sentencing.
Yeah, she spoke. Yeah, and she blamed everything on her son and said that how her son needs to be tried instead of her, and how they're going after the wrong person. It was unreal. Unreal. I mean, she threw him under the bus the entire time, but it was even
I may
worse.
go back and watch the sentencing.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. And the prosecution said, Judge, it was bad.
Chris and Jules from Trial TV did catch Owens right outside the courtroom, and they even caught Peter Tragos from The Lawyer You Know, and got to say hi to him. So that was cool. Yeah, Judy, you saw Billy's head. Yeah.
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 So with Ashley,
go
ahead. With Ashley, the difference with Ashley is that she made herself look meek, and she gave herself that look. You know what I mean? And the whole time during the sentencing, she basically looked down. She looked down almost the entire. Hey, OnlyFans. She looked down almost the entire time. Like, I don't know if anybody else saw what I saw, but she didn't look up once or twice. She acted like she wasn't there. I think she was putting on the act of not hearing things, not being part of it. But I don't know. That's just the way I took it.
You really think it was an act? Because when I looked at her, I thought, and I know the story, right? I may not have watched the whole trial, but I've got the basics of the story down. What I saw in her was defeat and
that.
resignation.
Well, that too.
That too. It seemed like resignation to me. Oh my gosh, Mel Peters, your attorney. That's great. We're in the same area. He's in Clearwater and I'm in Tampa, so we are adjacent. Hello everybody who is joining us. We're now up to 16 people. Yes. Awesome. Hi Julie, welcome.
Hey,
see if we just sit here and shoot the crap long enough, we'll get some folks in watching. Hi everybody, don't be sorry you're late. We're glad you're here. We've
just been talking about Boone and Ashley, so yeah.
And margaritas and Taylor Swift concerts. So so you haven't missed anything. And Stitch.
Don't forget Stitch. Stitch earrings Mike got me. Aren't they cute? Can you see them?
Yeah. Okay.
They're Christmas ones. CVS.
Oh. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I think we can all be grateful that Sarah did have Owens, because my goodness, that we would still be in trial now. Maybe all of us pulling our hair out and drinking bottles of wine nonstop to get through it. I don't
And
drink,
Judge Granick always made sure to ask her, "Are you satisfied with your?"
Yeah, I think he
with your
ran a
defense?
very clean, tight ship in terms of
Yeah,
an appellate record. I mean, of course, she's
yeah, I
going to
think so.
appeal. That's totally normal.
That's what they do. Yeah,
Nobody should freak out over any attorney filing an appeal. And we want to make this
it's
super,
just
super
normal.
clear. It's
Yeah, it's normal.
normal, but it's also the trial court attorney that files the notice of appeal. And they
Yes,
have to do it within 30 days. So there may not be an appellate attorney yet,
right.
but so it doesn't mean that the trial attorney is going to be the one that does the appeal. They just file the
Yeah, usually
notice.
it's not, right?
Correct. Only
Yeah.
fan is asking if I know JLR investigates by any chance. I do not.
Yes, I do. When it says,
Judy,
come on in, come on in. Yeah.
Judy is asking, does she get an automatic appeal? To my knowledge, is that only death penalty cases in Florida get automatic appeals. Like whether you want one or not, you can't waive it. I've had somebody try to waive it. It doesn't work
Really?
like that. The judge assigned her an attorney at sentencing, didn't he? He may very well have. Alan Holland. Okay, Mel is saying Alan Holland has been assigned. Yeah, okay. I remember we were talking about that on Chris's show the other night.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because she files it doesn't mean she'll get one either. Just because she files for one doesn't mean that they're going to take her case.
No, she'll file an appeal. They'll write an appellate brief, right, based on the transcripts. But it's going to come down to, was there oh my God, the words just went right out of my head.
Any appellate issues.
Irreversible harm. And if there wasn't or was, that's what determines the appellate issues. But it's going to be about the procedures of the court, not whether she likes it or not.
Right.
You know? So, yeah, everybody can file inmates file appeals for years until they have exhausted the process. And even then, some of them are still trying to do it, you know?
Yeah.
LR has a wild backstory. He does make it to stuff all over the U.S.
Yeah, he does.
And Amy Crew wants to know what's his backstory. Who is LR? Who are we speaking about?
JLR investigates.
Oh, okay. Does he have a channel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he just goes live, boots on the ground everywhere. I mean, he's always everywhere.
So Judy T asks a great question. Don't they write the appeal without Sarah? Absolutely, 100%. I had a case where actually a conviction that was overturned on appeal, never met the appellate attorney, never had a conversation with the appellate attorney. He sent me his brief when he was done with it. I couldn't get past the first page because I thought he got the facts wrong, but he managed to get the entire thing overturned. So that was great. But no, none of us ever knew him. So she will not have any, she won't have any say in her own appeal. So, you know, maybe she'll write some letters to the District Court of Appeals. Don't know.
Probably.
Just posted it. Trial TV Live says, is this, Jonathan Lee Riches. Okay. I have not heard of him. There's only so many people I can follow in a day. So with Ashley, that's his backstory. Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
It's in the chat, LW. If you just scroll up a couple, she just put it in there. With Ashley, a lot of people thought she was acting. I saw there's a lot of differing opinions in Chris's chat the other night. I just thought I saw someone who had just, like I said there, that had hit a wall and was just done, you know.
Yeah.
But
she had the same reaction during the trial too. Like when she was on the stand, she had the same, I don't know, the same demeanor.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys think that testifying helps them or hurts them more? Like a lot of you guys watch trials all the time.
I see a lot of it.
Have you ever seen testimony that you think actually helps instead of hurts?
Not that I can think. I know, like with Murdaugh, it really screwed him. Now
It
Johnny
did.
Depp, maybe I think that helped Johnny Depp. Yeah,
Yeah, but
like
that was
in his
Johnny
case, it
Depp.
did.
I mean, but
Yeah,
how
that was
could
Johnny
he
Depp. Yeah,
like,
yeah. He just wanted. He liked to
yeah.
talk, so he was good for him. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I
One
don't
more
know.
Boone thing. Will she be in like a cell or another one of those dorm rooms where she makes buddies? I'm really hoping that she's in a cell because she hates them. Oh, hi, Squeegee. Thank you. Appreciate you. Are
Hey,
you still
Chris.
streaming, Chris? To answer you, LW, she will go into a cell. This is going to be prison, not county. Thank you for stopping in and saying hello, Chris. We appreciate it. You have had a long,
Yes.
long week and a long, long day. So OnlyFans says the popcorn M trial helped him. So I do not personally know that attorney, but I work with somebody who rents space in that office. So Rick Escobar, I believe, was the attorney there. And he's like right down the street from me and very close to, and like I said, I work with an attorney that rents his offices out of that building. Yeah, that was Rick Escobar. Okay, I think they're talking about JLR suing his mom for being a crappy mom. Interesting. Okay. Sued the Guinness Book for putting him in the book as the guy who has filed the most lawsuits in America. Okay, well, I prefer not to cross paths with this man.
Yeah, he's different.
Yeah, LW, the appellate process does not, it's a written process, that at least this initial one, it's in writing. There will be no, well, hi, Henry. There will be no input from Sarah on how the appeal process goes. Yes, Sarah, who doesn't like to be told what to do in prison, will be told what to do every time. You're right. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, she will hate that, and that's fine because come here. Henry, where'd you go?
Yeah. Didn't get really to see him much last week.
Henry, where'd you go? He'll be back. Oh, there you are. Come here. He's like, no, come here. He's like, why do you want? What do you want? Come here.
Henry's being camera shy.
Yeah, he is. He'll show up. He'll come back over here. He's so funny. He wants to just look out the front door. Like he wants me to sit in the front door with him. Like I live in an apartment building. And so he can, he can be half in and half out.
There you go, Mads.
There you go. He's got lovely ear fur. It's called ear furnishings, in case you did not know. Okay, so Sarah, meet consequences. Yep, absolutely. Amy Cruz says she looked up the penitentiary and they have cells and dorms both. Interesting. Okay. I did not know that there were dorms for long-term prison stays. Interesting. All right, you guys. So what I did was I actually have tried. We're going to try to present you with some information. So I'm learning StreamYard. I'm not used to it. And so what we're going to do is I have sort of this overview document that I made. Jenny put all of questions she took from people's streams and different things and made a list of them for me. And then I went and did some research, and hopefully this will go okay. You are my test subjects, and thank you so much for being here. So we're going to give this a shot. All right. So I'm going to share my screen to this Google Doc I made, and I can figure out how to put this down somewhere so that you guys can see it. Okay. So I am basing this on sentencing in Florida, since that's
everybody see it okay?
Yeah, can everybody
read it okay?
I actually can't even see chat anymore because to make this big enough for me to see. Yeah. Has everybody got it okay?
I can see it. Let me check my phone.
I created this based on
Good.
Florida sentencing. Yeah, it's good.
So far, everybody's saying it's good.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
Thank
Aaron
you.
said it's good. Judy said it's good.
All right. All right. So I've done this based on Florida since we've been
Somewhere
watching
else.
a
Okay,
lot of
good.
trials out of Florida, and since I am in Florida. So sentences can vary very significantly depending on several factors, such as the severity of the offense, prior criminal history, and the presence of any aggravating or mitigating circumstances. So here's an overview of how it works in Florida. We have several types of sentences. One is obviously incarceration, which is imprisonment either in county for misdemeanors or state for felony. Misdemeanors, which are typically less severe crimes with a maximum jail sentence of up to 1 year. Felonies are more serious crimes with penalties ranging from more than 1 year in prison to life imprisonment or even the death penalty. So we have probation here, and a court may allow their offender to serve their sentence outside of jail or prison. It's called being under supervision with conditions such as regular reporting, drug testing, completing community service. Sometimes it's like she was talking about George having to go to his DV classes. So it could be something like that. We also have community control, which is a more restrictive form, which may involve electronic monitoring and even tighter supervision. And I feel like the state likes to do this because they will impose such strict controls and supervision. They know people are going to violate. Like, there's just no way. And when you violate, you end up serving the full sentence for whatever crime you got probation for.
I've seen that
Fines,
happen.
yeah, fines and restitution. So the offender may have to pay financial penalties or compensate the victim for losses or damages. You've heard, I think you heard Judge Koenig say, court costs, it wasn't a lot of money, but basically that money can come out of their commissary, I think. I need to look that up further. Let's see. So we've got Florida follows the sentencing guidelines, which I have done. I have it here, hopefully, to present to you. And that helps the judges to determine the appropriate sentence for a convicted defendant. The guidelines consider various factors such as the severity of the crime. The more severe the crimes will typically carry harsher penalties. Your criminal history, repeat offenders. So those with prior convictions are often sentenced more harshly than first-time offenders. If you see somebody who is designated PRR, it means that they are a prison release reoffender. I think that means that they were released like within a recent amount of time from a prison sentence. And then you have habitual offenders or career criminals. Another thing that is taken into consideration is victim impact, or the harm caused to the victim, which can influence the length and the type of sentence, and the aggravating and mitigating factors. So aggravating factors such as committing a crime in a brutal or especially heinous manner may lead to harsher sentences, while mitigating factors, the defendant, for example, the defendant has a history of mental illness, may result in more lenient sentences. So the way to think about mitigation is it's the story of the offender. It's their personal story. Okay, so our structure for felonies here is third-degree felonies is the least worst of the felony. So it's going to be theft of property under a certain value, and you're up to 5 years. Second degree, which include things like aggravated assault, carry a maximum sentence of 15. That's what Sarah would have gotten had she taken her plea. First degree is for the more severe crimes, such as robbery with a weapon or certain drug offenses, which can result in up to 30 years in prison. And then we have life felonies, which are crimes like first-degree red rum or kidnapping that can lead to life in prison or the death penalty. Florida also uses a sentencing score sheet for felonies. It assigns points based on the crime's severity and the defendant's criminal history. The score sheet helps the... Huh?
I find that interesting because I never heard of that before. So
yeah,
I'm glad you'll be showing us that.
I've set it all up. Let's hope I can get us through it. And if people are bored, I can't see the chat right now because I've got it in a different window. So you have to talk to me to tell me something's wrong.
Cat and Canary has a question. She wants to know what the cost of community control is to the person. Do you know that?
It depends. It's a sliding scale. So it may be like $50 a month, but let's say you are having issues meeting that obligation, you can petition the court for it to be lower.
And what happens if someone doesn't get any commissary? Like if somebody doesn't, nobody, they're alone, they don't have anybody. Yeah.
Well, so the judge, I mean, I think you heard Judge Koenig say that because she was indigent, he was converting her judgment to a lien, which basically means if she ever gets any money, then that's where that money would go. You know how like a contractor can put a lien on your house for you not paying them? It's kind of the same thing.
Okay.
Mandatory minimums. We have that here. I have mixed feelings on mandatory minimums. These are sentences that judges cannot reduce. They apply in cases involving certain crimes such as drug offenses. Specific minimum sentences are mandated for crimes involving trafficking certain controlled substances. Firearm offenses. Certain firearm-related crimes such as possession of a felony, possession of a firearm by a felon or using a firearm in the commission of a crime have mandatory minimums. And SA offenses, especially involving minors, absolutely, they don't just can carry mandatory minimums. I have not seen one that hasn't yet. Sentencing enhancements. In some cases, sentences can be enhanced based on specific factors, which may include hate crimes. If a crime is motivated by bias or prejudice, it may be enhanced to a higher penalty. And aggravated offenses. If the crime involves certain aggravating circumstances, for example, the defendant has had a prior conviction for a similar offense, the sentence can be increased. Are we good so far?
Cat and Canary has a question. Aaron, if you want to put that up.
Oh, hold on, I got to switch out of this tab for this part of the screen. I'll figure this out eventually. What's that?
Thanks, Aaron.
No downward. Oh, I will get to the downward departures. I'm getting there. I've got everything that any of you guys wrote. That, well, I'm going to give credit to Jenny. Mostly Jenny found them all. And Cat 8 Canary, I found one of yours, and it all went into this sheet. So
Judy just asked one too.
Yeah. So Judy says, does she have to pay back the JAC costs? I thought I'd heard that sometime during the saga of Sarah. Not that I'm really aware of. Like, you can see it sometimes in their trial court balance that they owe a certain amount of money, but I don't believe that money ever gets paid back. And to be honest, it's something I need to look into further. I am just not sure, and I don't want to give you the wrong information.
I'll write it in my notes.
Okay. So everybody's doing good? All right. Thank you. All right, guys. I appreciate you. All right. Let's keep going. So in a sentencing hearing, the judge will typically hear from both the prosecution and the defense, who present information to help the judge determine the appropriate sentence. So these things may include the pre-sentence investigation report. And yes, I got your question to whomever of you asked it, and I have you covered later in this. This is just sort of an overview. And then I've got more specific things, and hopefully it'll all work. The pre-sentence investigation report. So it's usually the Department of Probation provides a report that includes information about the defendant's background, criminal history, and other factors. We have the victim impact statements. Victims or their families may be allowed to speak about the emotional, physical, or financial impact of the crime. And yes, I did see the question asking why the judge in Ashley's was cutting Doug Benefield's brothers off, and I don't have an answer. I was looking for an answer, but I don't have one yet. So I don't know why he was doing that, and I need to go back, to be perfectly honest, and watch that again and watch what he was doing, because I was doing something else and I was only kind of sort of paying attention. I watched it again because I knew I was supposed to talk about it on Chris's channel, and I'm still confused. The defendant's statement. The defendant may have an opportunity to speak on their behalf. So I've got an upcoming sentencing that I've been talking about forever because it's taking forever. And while I will not have the defendant take the stand, I will actually speak on his behalf, and he will turn in a written statement. And then there will be a couple other people who speak on his behalf.
Will that be televised?
No,
Oh,
that one will not be televised.
darn.
I've got a couple that should go in 2025 that very well could be, in which case Trial TV Live will be notified so that they can cover it. Appeals and modifications. After sentencing, the defendant may appeal the conviction of the severity of the sentence or the severity of the sentence. In some cases, a defendant can request a sentence modification or post-conviction relief if new evidence comes to light or if the sentence is deemed unlawful. So earlier, I mentioned a case that I had been working on for a couple of years now. It was a robbery that took place in Seminole County in the early 2000s. And I wrote a 75-page report with like 350 pages of attachments. And the ruling came out today, basically, or 2 days ago, that they denied a new trial. And it all hinges on one witness. And it's talking about like James Owens coming from, you know, a small courtroom where the all shucks thing kind of works. I have never seen legal professionals more intermeshed than in Seminole County. So that may be something we'll talk about. I'm surprised it took this long. I'm disappointed that it came out that way, but I'm also not surprised because a lot of attorneys would have been in trouble. Okay, so good behavior in parole. In Florida, parole is not available for most crimes committed after 1983. I would say all crimes, but what happened was in 1983, they introduced the sentencing guidelines, the score sheets that we're going to look at. And so as that took effect, very few crimes going up until the very early 90s got parole. Some sentences may be, I skipped some. So, however, good time credits for good behavior in prison may allow offenders to reduce their sentence by earning days off for good conduct. So, I think we've determined that it's 4 for 1. Like, for every one good day you serve, you can, or is it every 4 good days you serve, you can knock 1 off, I think is the way that works out. Some sentences may be eligible for early release based on good behavior, but this is less common for more serious crimes. Sentencing in Florida is influenced by the severity of the crime, the defendant's criminal history, various aggravating or mitigating factors. Judges follow state sentencing guidelines, but have some discretion. Mandatory minimums and sentencing enhancements also play a significant role, making Florida's criminal sentencing system both structured and complex. So, we have any questions? Let's see.
I Rescue Dogs has one on the screen.
I believe he was going by death penalty rules. Yeah, I agree with you, which limit what the statements can consist of, unless I'm getting my sentencing mixed up. It seems to me like he was following death penalty rules as well, but I thought he was doing that in terms of, you know what, I Rescue Dogs, the whole thing is confusing to me, and I need to sit down and watch it
Yeah,
and
because
pay
it wasn't even a
attention.
death penalty case. That's I don't
Exactly.
know
And
that. Yeah,
he was going through a checklist on one of the statutes, but I don't know if that
yeah,
was for the elements of a downward departure or if that was
yeah. That was
I don't
confusing because usually
I
they put
didn't
the
un,
downward departure first, and he combined it and did like both parts of it instead of doing the downward first.
yeah, so
That's
that's he did combine it because he kept cutting
yeah,
off Doug Benefield's
yeah,
brothers, right? I think they were the brothers. Kept cutting one of them off. And I
yeah,
couldn't quite figure out what he was doing, but
yeah. He said he was attacking
yeah.
her too much, which I mean, I can see a point, but everybody, that's what you're there for, to tell the person you did this, and this is what you did, and this is the problem. This is what you're causing me to feel, and he wouldn't allow that at all. So it was,
Yeah. It was really odd. I think I
yeah,
said as much on Chris's show the other night that the whole thing just felt odd to me.
yeah, it did, yeah,
And I don't know if it's just that judge's personality.
yes, rescue dogs. He did, yeah,
He likes the rules, so he
that's
wanted to
exactly what he
follow
said.
those rules in this sense.
Yep, he literally said that. I like this rule, so this is the rule I'm going to follow. Yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah, he did.
What was her charge?
She got
Manslaughter?
a lesser. Yeah, she got a lesser. Yeah,
She got on manslaughter. Yeah.
right.
I don't know. She's already filed, and one of the folks in chat has asked the question. She already filed to be out on bond pending her appeal. I have pulled that up. So we'll see if I can make that work. All right, I'm gonna go back over here. That's the wrong one. All right, so parole. So what I've done in this document, which I will make available, is if you click on one of these links, it should take you to the website that I got it from. So because we don't really have parole, although I see it come up a lot in people's chats, they're like, is she going to get life without parole? Well, if you get life in Florida, you get life. There is no
I never knew
designation
that until
life
you
with the
told me.
possibility of parole.
I didn't know that until you told me. I never knew that. I
Yeah.
always wondered that. Yeah, and then you said it in
Yeah.
one of the chats. But yeah, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
So
now
life
correct
is
people.
life. Yeah. Life is life. And if you, that's why you'll never hear life without. And people in the chats are always like, is it, why didn't they say life without? Because we don't have it. You know, it's only these crimes that were committed before 1983, and then some that were committed between 1983 and I want to say 1993. So it does not come into play in anything we're watching today. Okay. So a capital case in Florida is a felony that can result in the death penalty or life in prison. Capital felonies are also known as life felonies. Some examples of capital felonies in Florida include, I work on a lot of these cases, which is why I know less about some of the lower classified felonies. So this is first degree red rum, which is the most common capital felony in Florida and can include premeditated or during the commission of a violent felony, which is also called felony M, which that's the kid that I have that's waiting on sentencing was convicted of. Then we have capital drug trafficking, which can include trafficking large quantities of certain drugs or trafficking that leads to multiple deaths. We're seeing trafficking being rolled over into RICO charges, just like they did with the YSL shit show. I don't know how else to say that. Sexual battery on a minor under 12 is punishable by life in prison, and armed kidnapping. So in a capital case, a jury considers aggravating and mitigating factors to decide whether to impose the death penalty. The jury's recommendation is not binding on the judge, who can decide whether to impose a death or life sentence. As of April 2023, a supermajority of at least 8 of the 12 jurors is required to issue a sentence of death. I want to talk about that for a second. That's new.
We've seen a lot of juries too. A lot of juries are 6 people. We're seeing a lot of that lately.
But that shouldn't be for a capital felony. That shouldn't be for a
Right.
death penalty case. You get 12 jurors,
Right.
and apparently we weren't convicting them fast enough on death cases and sending them to death row fast enough. So they went ahead and lowered the number of jurors you need to convict, which is
Wow.
insane.
Yeah.
I think that's insane. Look,
Yeah, I do too.
I'm not going to argue morality of the death penalty one way or another, but I do not believe that 8 out of 12. I think it should be unanimous. If you are
Yeah, I do
voting
too.
for life in prison or the death penalty, I think it needs
Yes.
to be unanimous. I really do.
I do too.
And one statistic about Florida is we have one of the highest wrongful conviction rates in the country.
Wow.
So that's another reason why I think, we need 12 jurors. Let's see. Mad says, sorry if this was said, I was away for a few. Is in Florida
That's a
natural
good
life
question.
2025? Life is till you die. There is
Do they have percentages? Do they have the 85%?
No, it would be 20. So like if the range was 25 to life, right? Then the judge could start at 25, and that could be the lowest, with the highest being life. But if you're intending to give life, then that is life. If you're intending to give a number of years, then you give that number of years.
Okay, I get you.
Which can be reduced to some extent by how much time you spent in county waiting your trial, the gain time for being on good behavior, whatever, like we just talked about. So let's say that, what did Ashley get? She got 15 and what was it? 10 and 20 or 20 and 10?
Yeah, she got 50, but then it ended up being concurrent. So Erin, was it 25 that she got? 2025? And Chris, if you're still in here, anybody remember? I didn't write it down. Because I know it was like 50 total, but they ended up,
well, she got 10 years probation.
Like a combo. Yeah.
20 years. So she got 20 years. So 10 in, 10 out.
Okay.
I think it was. She had 10 years probation and 10 years in. But if she's been in lockup since she was arrested for the crime, that number can come off. And if she does good time, that can be reduced. Because remember when everybody was calculating how much time Sarah Boone would actually spend in prison if she had taken that unbelievable freaking plea deal,
yeah.
And if she'd taken a 15 years, she would have been out in 8. Bet you're sorry now, Sarah. Stupid Sarah. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Erin is saying she got 20 years. Ashley got 20 years in and 10 years of probation. So, let's see. Mel says, I didn't think you get 85% gain time if it is a felony life eligible. Even if you get, say, 40 years, you do not get the gain time. If you are sentenced to life, so you're saying if it's life eligible, but they give you less than life. That's not what I read, but I could be wrong, and so I will find out because I'm not sure. Mel saying because it's still murder, even though it's second degree. Yeah, but part of me thinks that you can still get the game time though. So
Ashley got 30 years. Ashley got 30 years and then 10 years probation.
So she got 30. I thought she got 20 in. 30 total, 20 in and 10 out.
That's, it's a lesser. Let me check a different site.
Mel, I believe I understand your
sentenced to 20 in prison. All right, so she got 20 in prison
and 10 in probation. And she's petitioned to be out pending appeal. I brought that up.
20 and 10. Yeah,
one of our people wanted to know about that. Mel's speaking on Florida, not Ashley. I understand you're talking about Florida and gain time on a murder charge, and I will find out because I want to say that it still can happen. But again, I could be wrong, and the laws change here so frequently it can make your head spin. All right, so I'm going to go back to this document. Okay. In a capital case, let's see, did we just talk about that? Yep, we did.
Yes.
So I have here the list of the aggravators and the mitigators, which are Florida statutes. And do you guys want me to attempt to bring that up so that you can see it? Can I get a yes from anyone? Aaron saying sure, why not? Well, let's see if it'll work. All right, so I'm gonna go here, and everything in Florida pretty much is done by statute. So we have
It didn't come up. You have to share that screen.
Because I have to share that stream.
There it is.
Telling me right in front of my face. So in Florida, we have a bifurcated trial. So the first part is whether you're guilty or innocent, and the second part is whether you get death or not, or a death recommendation. So that's what they're calling the separate proceedings on the issue of penalty. I'm not going to read all of that. And then the paren 2 says findings recommended by and recommended sentence by the jury. So you'll read it if you read any law, like any statutes, like here, this subsection applies only if the defendant has not waived his or her rights to a sentencing procedure by jury. You need to read very carefully about looking for words like if this has happened, then do this. If this has not happened, this does not work. There's a lot of tests for things. So it doesn't help you to read fast when you are reading the law, which I have learned the hard way more than once. Let's see. So we have the 8 jurors. Has to be okay. Here we go. Here's your aggravating factors. Aggravating factors should be limited to the following. The capital felony was committed by a person previously convicted of a felony and under sentence of imprisonment or placed on community control or felony probation. The defendant was previously convicted of another capital felony or of a felony involving the use or threat of violence to the person. The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to many persons. The capital felony was committed while the defendant was engaged or was an accomplice in the commission of or an attempt to commit or flight after committing or attempting to commit any robbery, sexual battery, aggravated CA, abuse of an elderly person or disabled adult resulting in great bodily harm, permanent disability, or permanent disfigurement, arson, burglary, kidnapping, aircraft piracy, or unlawful throwing, placing, or discharging of a destructive device or bomb. If you think that's an odd list, I refer you back to the fact that this is the state of Florida. And so felony murder falls within that realm as well.
Now, do all these things have to be, or just like
no,
like does A, B, and D, or
so
obviously some of them aren't in the same.
Yeah, so it says aggravating factors shall be limited to the following. So it's not saying you have to have all of these. It's saying these are the only ones that can be considered. Okay. So the capital felony was committed for the purpose of avoiding or preventing a lawful arrest or effecting an escape from custody. Was committed for it doesn't want to come out. It means monetary gain. The capital felony was committed to disrupt or hinder the lawful exercise of any governmental function or the enforcement of laws. Capital felony was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel. The capital felony was a homicide and was committed in a cold, calculated, and premeditated manner without any pretense of moral or legal justification. The victim was law enforcement, engaged in the performance of his or her official duties. Victim was an elected or appointed public official engaged in the performance of his or her official duties if the motive for the capital felony was related in whole or in part to the victim's official capacity. The victim of the capital felony was a person less than 12 years of age. I've got one of those. The victim of the capital felony was particularly vulnerable due to advanced age or disability, or because the defendant stood in a position of familial or custodial authority over the victim. The capital felony was committed by a criminal gang member as defined in Florida Statute 874.03. And the capital felony was committed by a person designated as a sexual predator pursuant to Florida Statute 775.21, or a person previously designated as such who had the designation removed, which I didn't know that was even possible to get it removed. And then finally, P is the capital felony was committed by a person subject to an injunction issued pursuant to Florida Statute 741, 784, or a foreign protection order accorded full faith and credit pursuant to 741.315, and was committed against the petitioner who obtained the injunction or protection order, or any spouse, child, sibling, or parent of the petitioner. Okay, I'm going to come back over here and check in with you guys and see how are we doing. Are we bored? Are we interested? We've lost viewers, so I don't know if this is good. Let's see. Oh, Alien Warnos you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
Wade Wilson got death here in Florida. Yes, he sure did. He's a monster. My God, his crimes have just been insane. If you've listened to any of the coverage that has come out about his communications while he was in the Lee County Jail. Okay, so we're talking about other people who are executed here. Got it. Okay. So are we doing okay? Shall I continue? I've got mitigation up next. Do you want mitigation or shall I skip? People leaving, come back. I understand. I just don't want to bore everyone to death. Okay. Mama Erin says we're great. All right, I will go back. Then we're going to look at the mitigating factors. Okay, and so some of my stuff that's coming, at least one, I have 3 death penalty cases right now. Do I have 3? I have 3. I have three death penalty cases right now.
Wow.
And at least 2 of them, my guess is they will be live streamed. It's a guess. All right, so mitigation. Mitigating circumstances should be the following. The defendant has no significant history of prior criminal activity. So that would be like a Sarah or an Ashley. Capital felony was committed while the defendant was under the influence of extreme mental or emotional disturbance. This is where you're talking about, there's a difference between competency to stand trial and insanity at the time the crime was committed. So there's nuance to that in Florida. The capital felony was committed while the defendant, I just said that, sorry. The victim was a participant in the defendant's conduct or consented to the act. The defendant was an accomplice in the capital felony committed by another person, and his or her participation was relatively minor. So my kid that got sentenced to got convicted of capital murder, it said, yes, he's convicted of that, but did he have the gun? No. Did he fire the gun? No. Did he do X, Y, and Z? No, 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 and no. So all the interrogatories came back, no, but they still found him guilty for being present, which kind of sucks. The defendant acted under extreme duress or under the substantial domination of another person. The capacity of the defendant to appreciate the criminality of his or her conduct or to conform his conduct to the requirements of law was substantially impaired. That's where you're looking at insanity, which is, did you know right from wrong? And that you don't have to be, it's not talking about being insane at the time of trial. That's insanity at the time the crime was committed. The age of the defendant at the time of the crime, the existence of other factors in the defendant's background that would mitigate against imposition of the death penalty. And then somebody had asked in the list that Jenny put together for me about victim impact evidence, and I have more on that in this presentation, which it's looking like I'm going to split up into more than one part or more than one thing. Victim impact. Once the prosecution has provided evidence of the existence of one or more aggravating factors, as described in subsection 6, the prosecution may introduce and subsequently argue victim impact evidence to the jury. Such evidence shall be designed to demonstrate the victim's uniqueness as an individual human being and the resultant loss to the community's members by the victim's death. Characterizations and opinions about the crime, the defendant, and the appropriate sentence shall not be permitted as part of a victim impact evidence. Does that answer our question about the Benefields? Anyone? Does that, because Jenny, in the list of questions you had prepared for me, was asking why that judge was limiting the brothers of Doug Benefield, right? We were just talking about this.
Right.
So do we think that answers it in that last, because that's the death penalty mitigation. So this last little bit here is addressing that. It says, if we look here, once the prosecution has provided, he was reading, you said, from the death penalty statute, right?
Right.
Okay, so victim impact evidence. Once the prosecution has provided evidence of the existence of one or more aggravating factors as described in subsection 6, the prosecution may introduce and subsequently argue victim impact evidence to the jury. Such evidence shall be designed to demonstrate the victim's uniqueness as an individual human being and the resultant loss to the community's members by the victim's death. Characterizations and opinions about the crime, the defendant, and the appropriate sentence shall not be permitted as part of victim impact evidence. So you see, that's victim impact evidence.
Yeah.
You see the word,
and that's during
evidence.
the trial itself. Yeah.
No, this is during sentencing.
That's to the jury. What says?
No. Oh wait, prosecution.
Yeah, it says evidence to the jury.
Oh yeah, because this is in the second phase, right?
What? Yeah, death penalty phase. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
This what Benefield's judge was using? Because if so, that just does not make sense. And then the final thing on this page is that this section does not apply to a person convicted or adjudicated guilty of a capital sexual battery or capital drug trafficking felony.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone? How are we doing? Stern CSAM trial is in February 2025. Red Rum is set for October 2025. Okay, so we're talking about some of the other ones. For Stephen Stearns, I have not been following that.
Stephen Stearns is just very sad.
Yeah, that's
something we're not going to do because it's about children.
I'm drawing the line.
Essay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm drawing the line on kids, guys, because I do murder for a living. That sounds weird. I live my days in this, and then now I'm here, talking about this on YouTube and in chats with you guys, and so this concept of there being secondary and tertiary trauma is real. It does exist, and I do have a case involving the homicide of a child. So I will not be doing child essay cases on this channel, but I know plenty of others will. Judy is asking, is the young man you're helping a death case? No, because he was 17 years old at the time the incident, as we now call it, happened. I believe he was 17. He was either 16 or 17 years old. So he is not facing death because that's illegal in Florida. You can't do that. And in fact, the case that I've been talking about that's from the 80s, or I'm sorry, the 90s, that is up for resentencing because that man was 17 years old at the time that he allegedly murdered a child under the age of 12. So that's another one that we're going to talk about hopefully here. Like I've told you guys before, the defendant is very much about me making it as public as possible, because it is potentially part of a string of serial murders that happened during that time frame in West Central Florida. But there are some current legal proceedings going on, and I need to make sure that I do not mess with that. Mad says, good call, Sam. It's a hard case to discuss and to moderate in a chat, honestly. Yeah, I'm done. I just can't, you guys. I
Yeah.
have to just think about, like, I'm not doing anything with animals. I'm not doing anything with kids.
Are you going
And
to cover
here,
that, Aaron? Is Child TV going to cover the Stephen Stearns?
Cat 8 Canary says, I am off of trials with kids too. I get too angry about kids I
Okay.
do not even know. I'm seeing too much
Yeah.
of it. And I want to say something else
Yeah.
about kids. And you hear me talking a lot about a young attorney I work with, who's kind of a boy wonder, really. He is half my age and 10 times smarter than could ever have hoped to be. But our big issue right now is that our cases that are coming in are kids killing kids. We've
A
got
lot of it.
16-year-olds shooting 16-year-olds, and it just does not stop. And I'm tired of this. I'm so tired of it. And I don't have like regular television. Jason, who was here in the chat earlier, is kind enough to share some passwords with me, so I stream whatever I'm watching. So I'm not like watching local news. I'm not on social media. But because I live in a hurricane zone, I do have like news notifications turned on. And all day long, it's somebody shot here, somebody shot here, somebody shot here, shot here, shot here. I mean, it's just nonstop, to the point where I don't want to go anywhere, because it just
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense anymore.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Parents unaliving their children because
And
they don't
that
want
too.
them.
I just can't.
So much of it. Sad.
There's
Yeah.
too much, and I just can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mel says, Sam, I don't blame you. Set your boundaries and stick with them. Yeah, I'm just not going to talk about that stuff. I mean, I've got enough material from the stuff that I do work on, and, even freaking law school stories that I think I can keep you guys entertained for a little bit. So, and there will be other cases down the line. Now, Lori Daybell, okay, I've had it with Lori Daybell, as I feel like most people probably have by now. However, she's now being allowed to represent herself.
Yes.
And we all know how that's going to go. Well, we don't. It could be very, very, very interesting. So, I don't know. I'm not going to cover what happened to those children. Everybody knows what happened to those children. If I talk about Lori Daybell on this channel, it is not going to be about what happened to those kids. It's going to be about what happens in that courtroom.
Right. And what happened? Because that one's about Arizona, about her husband. So that's what that case is about. And,
Okay.
And
Perfect.
her nephew getting shot at. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I still
Boudreaux
hate her.
getting shot. Yeah.
Yeah. But okay. Yeah. All right. So my only interest in her is her representing herself for this madness.
Yeah.
Mel says, I only mentioned his because I believe his is a DP case, I believe. Are you talking about my kid? Because it would have been had he been older. Mel also says, click that like button and subscribe if you have not. I would appreciate it so much. We hit 115 subscribers, you guys, in I think, when did I start coming on here? This is my sixth stream.
6-1.
So 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm thrilled to death.
I am
Matt
too.
says, the world has gone nuts. Even in my little area, it's scary now. Head is always on a swivel when I venture out. Sad, really. Yeah, I don't want to go anywhere for any reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Which will be great for the resale value of my car that has no miles. I was thinking about that today. I'm like, I could have this car for the next 40 years because I don't go anywhere. Except of course to the jail. Let's see. Yeah, okay, you guys. So, Judy says she means Stefan Sturz. Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. And Lori is about the husband and not the kids. Okay, got it. Still, I think it'll be interesting not talking about what happened to those kids, though.
Yes.
Okay, so let me go back to, let's see, we're already kind of past where I normally go, but let's see if we can't answer. Let me stop sharing this. Let me go back to this one and see if I can, how do I reshare it?
Are you doing the score sheet tonight?
So yeah, I wanted to try to get to something that somebody asked about. So let me see.
Yeah, do that first. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Hang on, guys. Okay. All right. That's not letting me do that. Hold on. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Why is it not giving me the option to stop sharing what I was sharing? Oh, it did stop.
Aaron, help.
Hold on. It just didn't give me the option. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Bear with me as I try to figure this out.
You're doing great.
Right. Let's see. Where did it go?
Isn't she doing great? What do you think, chat? She's doing great.
She's trying. Let me see if this is the right one. Let me see. All right. So this is not the score sheet. I have it. I'm going to show it to you, but I wanted to show you this first. Can you see this? It says Florida Criminal Punishment Code. It's 69 pages long. This is how to complete the score sheet. And wow. I just wanted you guys, I'm not going to go through 69 pages of this. I wanted you to just get a glimpse of what goes into it and see that it is not
cut and dry,
arbitrary, right? There's things to follow. It's literally a worksheet. Okay. So that's where everything comes out in the sentence points and the split sentences and revocations of community supervision, departures, lowest permissible sentence. And then in the appendices, you have the Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure. The score sheet form is also included here in this PDF. And then there are some, like here we have non-exclusive factors to support departure, table of frequently charged felony offenses with severity rankings, and frequently charged felony offenses chapter reference. So yeah, let's go ahead and scroll down just a little bit, and it just starts to walk you through. It's kind of like doing your taxes, right? Only
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah. So we've got this, if you just have to read the thing about law, and the thing that I learned in law school is that with the law, and really with anything, you need to read very, very carefully, because an if makes a difference, right? So you want to make sure that you're paying
not and or.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right, Jenny. That's exactly right. So I will make all of this stuff available, which means Jenny will help me make all this stuff available in the description box if any of you have the interest in going back and looking at this. Now, let me go over here, and it's not going to let me share this screen. Hold on. Oh wait, I know what I have to do. Sorry guys, hang on.
Good.
Okay, have to come
So a
back
judge has to follow that, correct?
So on the score sheet, yeah,
Yeah.
we usually get it from the state. Like they're the ones that start out with it. All right. Here it is. Got it. All right, here you go. Can you guys see this?
I can. Everybody else can see it?
Rule 3.992A Criminal Punishment Code score sheet. Yeah.
Aaron can see it.
Oh, if it's on somebody's screen, that means people can see it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys can see, it's a worksheet, right? So it's going to start
Looks like
with
you're filling out a application for a job.
Yeah, exactly. But then they start getting into math.
Ugh.
We all know how I feel about the math.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so here the level is the points. So if the level of the felony, so the first degree felony, right, is 1, you get 4 points. It's second degree felony, it's 10 points. Third degree felony, it's 16. Now it keeps going up, and we don't have 10th degree felonies. But it says down here, prior capital felonies triples primary offense points. So again, it comes with a manual just like the tax code. And I don't ever have to fill this out. So I don't know how everything works. But I had a lot of people I know have asked about it, and I wanted to show it to you. And I wanted to show you the source of the information on how you would go about filling it out. So here you have additional offenses, you have the injury to the victim, you have the prior record. And if you look, so I'm down here at the bottom, right, in 5, prior record. Excuse me. You have the felony, the misdemeanor degree, the Florida statute number, the offense level, the ASCR, I'm not sure what that means, the description of the crime, the number times the points. So it's whatever the level is, I guess, times the amount of points equals the total. And so you start adding all that up, and the higher your points are, the more time you score out to. So the higher the number, right, the worse your fate. So then here it's got legal status violation equals 4 points. So what does that mean? That means that you may have been out on probation, that you were on community control, and you did something bad. And so now you've violated here. Yeah. So community sanction violation before the court for sentencing. So you can see here 6 points for any violation other than new felony conviction times each successive violation, or new felony conviction equals, and on and on and on it goes, right? So here then we have, you add on points for what kind of firearm it was, whether it was a semi-automatic or a machine gun. If the person has a prior serious felony, that's an additional 30 points. Enhancements. This is only if the primary offense qualifies for enhancement. And you can see here we have law enforcement, drug trafficker, motor vehicle theft, and you're timesing your number of points, you're multiplying. That is a word I understand, multiplying, not timesing. Criminal gang offense, domestic violence in the presence of a related child for offenses committed on or after March 12th of 2007. And then we have adult on minor, SA, committed on or after 10/1/14. And that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's when Jesse's Law went into effect. And there's a documentary called Jesse's Dad. A law was passed about minimum mandatory for SA because the man who took her and murdered her was a repeat offender. So here you go is your computation. If total sentence points are less than or equal to 44, the lowest permissible sentence right here is any non-state prison sanction. So what does that mean? It means you get to hang out in county for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Or you're out on community control or whatever, right? It just means you're not going to the Florida Department of Corrections. If the total sentence points are 22 points or less, then you're going to go to this section of the Florida statutes to see if the court must sentence the offender to a non-state prison sanction. If total sentence points are greater than 44, you do some more math, you come out to some more, and this is how it goes. You see all the different things. So it's the criminal version of the tax code is the best I can liken it. How are we feeling about that? Hey, Sneaky Side. Hi, Fanny Pack. Oh, hello. Oh, we got a little raid. Thank you. Hi, Brad. Hi, Judy. You've been here a minute. Let's see. Ay vamos. Welcome.
Therapist, you know.
Hi, Nessie. Hi, Therapist. You know, I scrolled right past you. Hi, Squeegee. Thank you.
Fanny Pack.
Yes, thank you. Welcome, you guys. Welcome, welcome to PICM School of Law. We are talking about sentencing.
Krista's here.
Hi, Krista. Nice to see you. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Hi, Trial Junkies United. Hi, guys. I recognize all of you guys.
Hi, Brett.
Hi, Haley. Haley Mouse. Yes, thank you guys for coming over. Hi. Hi. It's so nice to see everyone. I have been absent from Trial TV's chat much of this week just because I've been having a string of nonstop migraines and trying to not be on the screen 24/7. Alexis. Hi, Alexis W. Hi, you guys. Hey, thanks for coming over. Wow. How exciting. We're talking about sentencing. Hello, everyone. Yes, I'd love it if you'd hit the like button, you guys. I hit 115 subscribers sometime last week.
Yes,
I have thus far not been a person that wakes up and checks my stats. In fact, I only looked at them like once this week, which tells you how much my head hurts. But I'm so grateful for everyone who has subscribed and everyone that shows up and listens to me, and for Jenny for helping me gather the information, and to Trial TV Live, Aaron for keeping the show going, and to the Squeegee of Justice, the other half of Trial TV Live, for being so excellent and supportive.
Thank you for letting me be a part.
Oh, absolutely. Do not know what I would do without your help. So the tax code of let's see who had made a comment. It was back up here a minute. 44 equals you've scored prison. Yeah. Let's see. Where was I? Oh, Brad. This is Brad said, wait, what's the difference between the criminal version of the tax code and the actual tax code? Seems like it should be criminal. That's very funny.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know what else to liken it to. And, you know, like I said, because it's not in my realm to fill these things out, you know, and I knew it was a worksheet, and I knew there was a lot of math involved. So I wanted to make sure that in addition to seeing an actual score sheet, you could see where the information comes from.
That's a lot.
In that 69 PDF. Are you guys surprised by how much goes into a score sheet?
Yeah, I am.
Therapist, you know, is asking if we are related. We are not, and we met on the internet, just like I met most of you guys.
Sarah Boone trial.
That's correct. On a different channel, actually, that I was a guest on, and Jenny had just started watching, and now we are here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Mads. Mads says it's
And
great to
Mads
see
during
you
the
grow.
hurricanes.
Very interesting and informative content. Good to see for a change. Well, I appreciate that very much. Cat ate canary. I want to talk about this. I now understand why lawyers are licensed in limited states. Learning the differences in each state would be a lot of work. Okay, so there is something called reciprocity. Florida has none. We do not share, we do not play nice with anyone. So if you are licensed in any other state in this country, you are not licensed to practice law in Florida. End of story. And if we are licensed here, and remember, I have the education, I have the degree, I do not have the license. I'm a licensed private investigator, not a licensed attorney. The letters after my name are JD and not Esquire. But if you, and I probably will get some of this wrong, but I believe if you are licensed in New York, you may also possibly be licensed in DC, or not 100% on that. But New York and New Jersey have reciprocity. I believe Ohio and Indiana have reciprocity. So if two states are very close together and they're not real big, then that would make sense, for you to be able to practice in both states. People who are very smart can go around and take the bar exam in different places. Florida's laws, the bar exam, the last I knew, and it could have changed, was basically for the state of Florida was split into two parts. The first day is all Florida law, and you get 3 essays in the morning, each of which you have 3 hours to do it. You have 3 essays, each of which can cover up to can cover at a minimum, I think, of 3 subjects. So, and that can be a mix of Florida law and like United States constitutional law. So it's all essays. That's all you do in the morning. The afternoon is very, very, very detailed, minute, picky Florida multiple choice questions. The second day here, and in a lot of states, is called the MBE, which is the multi-state bar exam. So, for example, that test would be given all around the country. And again, this is my prior knowledge, and it could have changed. So, for example, people came and took Florida, like on the Tuesday, right? And they flew out. Let's say another state was giving their state exam like on Wednesday. They'd go take that, but you could take the MBE anywhere. It's so much to learn, and it's so much to put in your head. It's just horrible. Let's see. Is this the Jenny? Yes, it is the Jenny. Brat says, don't forget to fill out Form 44E if you unalived someone in the previous tax year. Oh, Haley Mouse says, so you're squeaky at sneaky side, so you're my mousy friend now. See, look at all you guys. OnlyFans says, damn, Florida. Yeah, I say that a lot. And in the words of Taylor Swift, Florida, one hell of a drug. Let's see. All right. My mom wants to know if Jenny could move in with me because I believe my mother understands the level of chaos that exists within my realm, and I think she gets the sense that you are the complete opposite.
Well, we both have ADHD, so we kind of feed off each other.
Yeah, really.
I have OCD too, so I gotta have everything. I think that helps.
So, let's see. So nobody can play in Florida, but Florida can play anywhere. No, we don't have reciprocity with other states either. So, for example, when you hear the term pro hoc vice, that's how my accent says it. That means that you are licensed in you're actively licensed in another state. and you are working in conjunction with a person licensed in the current state on a case, like, for example, let's say Sarah had, remember James Owens brought in 2 other attorneys. Let's say he brought one in from Georgia or Louisiana. Then that person would have to be pro hoc vitae. And so by that, they're saying, I'm associating with this licensed attorney to work on this one specific case in your state. And that's it.
It's like a green card.
Very temporary one. Yeah. So, all right. That was a lot. And we're not even like a quarter of the way through all the stuff I pulled for you guys, and I tried to pull just the bare minimum. Sue Schleicher is in fact Florida PICM's mama. This is true, therapist, you know. Yes, it is. Both my mother and my father are in Ohio. My father lives in the country. He has limited broadband streaming capabilities. I don't understand it. Mel says he did that with Kevin Beck from New Mexico. Oh, was Kevin Beck from New Mexico?
I didn't know that. Huh.
I need Mel's brain. Brat says, I've noticed, I'm not going to try to pronounce Brat's second name. I've noticed that Latin is very different in some southern states. I keep hearing brand new pronunciations of voir dire from lawyers in southern trials. Yeah. Yeah, because there are different, I mean, you can hear the southern in Jenny's voice. I'm from sort of like south, like central Ohio with a touch of the south in that. And then I went to Texas for a long time, and I've been in Florida for a long time. So yeah, you can get there's a lot of different inflections,
dialects,
and all the things. Yeah. Kevin Beck retired from Florida, so he was a former member of the Florida bar, but he'd still have to be licensed somewhere. I don't think you can come back if you once were. I don't know. I could be wrong. They changed the rules here a lot. So what have we learned here today? That it's not easy to be convicted of a crime in Florida? I don't know. What do you think?
The sentencing is more in depth than what we realized.
A lot more complicated than we thought, right?
Yeah. That's why the judges a lot of times will say, even after a month during that pre-sentencing evaluation that has to be done, they still will say, I need to go back to chambers, way back. So they still got to go through and finish, put everything together. So yeah, it's long process.
There's a lot to take into, and we didn't get through everything. I mean, right. I gave you an overview. I gave you aggravating and mitigating for death penalty, and I gave you the score sheet and where to, I guess I can stop sharing that screen, where to, take the information. And right. That's just part of it. We haven't gotten to all the things that everybody asked about. And I didn't have that many questions either.
Did Mel have a question? Was Mel one of the one? Did we answer Mel? Wouldn't Mel?
I don't know if I answered Mel's question. Mel, did I answer your question, or did I get? I got somebody else's.
Had a question.
I'll know when I see their name again. Hold on. She was in here earlier. I don't know if she's still here.
It was before. I think they had. I think they had.
It was early on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Was it Amy? I don't know. I can't remember now who it was. Oh, I think it was Cat 8 Canary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she had a question, and I think that I encompassed that somewhere in my answer. I don't know if I got it today, but I know a lot of people were interested in the score sheet, and so I wanted to make sure that that I covered at least that much for everyone. People are saying we look alike, Jen.
I know. Change my hair color.
I don't know. I can't see. All right, you guys. So I do not want to keep you any longer because this was.
I do have one quick question. We're talking
sure.
about the judge. I know we're going to go over everything else, like in part 2, like pre-sentence evaluations, like some of the things we're going to talk about in the next one.
Oh, cat
We're going
ate
to be,
canary. I see your question. Thank you, girl. I'll come back to you just a second. Go ahead, Jenny. I'm sorry.
We'll just see if it's not the same one I'm going to ask. Okay. Talking about the sentencing, like, does the judge pay attention to the victim statement, the victim impact statements, so, or does he already have in his mind what he's going to do before he comes in that room?
I think that they have probably gone through all of the legal factors, what the jury said, the defendant's conduct at trial. Did they show remorse? And then I think that they probably do reserve some small piece for the victim impact statements. You know,
I
I
always wondered
don't,
that.
I think from what I understand, Judge Cranick was watching Sarah like a hawk.
Yeah, because he
And
gave that answer fast. There was no
remorse from her. We know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So, I would say that yeah, it is a factor. I don't know how much of a factor it is, but they certainly can consider it. And I imagine they would, especially if it's a truly heinous situation, which we
Right.
do see a lot of them.
Right.
So Cat Ate Canary's question was how often folks get out on probation awaiting appeal. Well, I pulled up information about that for you. We'll talk about it next time. And I have the Ashley Benefield motion as well. And I was thinking about it, and I can't name a time that I am personally aware of. So, Krista, I'm in mourning. It's the end of the Eras tour this weekend. I'm a late in life Swiftie. I got to go to 2 shows in Paris, France in May. And so in honor of the end of the Eras tour and the late night streams that I'm watching from Vancouver, I put on all my friendship bracelets, some of which were custom made for me by another internet friend named Bethany. And I'm wearing my Florida What a Drug shirt and my Taylor red lipstick. So, you guys, thank you so very much for sticking with us.
Do you want to tell them what your plan is for next Saturday?
Well, I think we're going to have to finish sentencing, don't you?
Yeah, like what kind of things we're going to talk about with sentencing? That way they kind of know.
Yes, then I have to go back to my other thanks for coming, Mads. I appreciate you. Hang on one second.
Are we smarter than a 5th grader?
No.
But
no,
not in math. No.
No, we're not. No.
Well, after seeing that score sheet, no.
Right? That's hard.
Yeah. Like calculator would be like, wait a minute, let me delete that and start over.
Actually, you know what? We got through a whole lot.
Yeah,
so we did on my document. I'm sorry.
Sheet.
Here, let me come back and share this.
Pre-sentence evaluations. We're going to talk about that, right?
Yeah, so that's the one we're missing. So pre-sentencing investigation report statute, that one. And here's the downward departure.
Yeah.
And bond while on appeal criteria. So here it is right here. It's not often. So the judge must be convinced that the defendant is not likely to flee or harm anyone. The court will consider the defendant's history of missing court appearances and ties to other jurisdictions. Good chance of success. The appeal must have a good chance of being successful. Not a serious or violent crime. The defendant cannot be appealing a conviction for serious or violent crime, such as red rum or the R word. So I think that Ashley Benefield's motion is frivolous, although I guess technically it's manslaughter. So, and the defendant cannot be appealing a lengthy sentence. A stay pending appeal allows the appellate court to review the case without forcing the defendant to comply with the potentially erroneous judgment. That's money. So that's if you have done something bad in a like Tom Girardi kind of situation where you owe a lot of money to a lot of people. All right, you guys. Thank you, Aaron, Trial TV Live, as always. You guys put in long days. Everybody who hasn't, I'm sure you all have because you came from there. Make sure you go over and give Trial TV Live a lot of love and support. And the Squeegee of Justice has his
Definitely.
show every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Thank you so
Thanks,
much,
Chris.
Chris. You guys deserve a rest. Go get one, please. And thank you again so much for your support. So
Yes, thank
next
you,
week,
guys.
then if there are any follow-up questions on sentencing, we'll take note on that. Right? Right, Squeegee, I hear you.
If you guys want, if you since Sam has so much going on, if you have any questions that you have for Sam that you want to put in the trial, I'm going to throw my email up here, and you can just email them to me. That way you can just send it to me.
And my email is my channel name. It's just floridapisam at gmail. I try to remember to throw community posts up, but
It won't let me.
if you, oh, here,
it failed to post mine. Yeah.
I think I have to do it.
Okay.
It's Jenny_survivor.
No, for my email.
Yeah.
What Jenny LA went. Jenny LA, which did not stand for Los Angeles. It stands for Legging Armies. To sell leggings at gmail.com. That way, in case anybody wants to send me any questions, and then I can tell you. I mean, obviously, she's the channel owner, so you can message her. But just in case.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot the 2017.
Oh,
I forgot the 20. Yeah.
Yes, the other part of your question, Mel. I will look at it. Hold on, let me do this again.
So it's Jenny LA.
A
2017. I forgot to say it. Yeah, at gmail.com. Yeah.
Okay. Mel, I guarantee you Jenny has taken note of the part of your question that I have not answered that I need to look into. And we will answer that. And then next week we're going, I think it's about the money.
Which one was that? Was it about paying back the JAC?
I think so. I think it was about the money. Mel, you want to just throw it in here again, please? It's the gain time. Oh, here it is. Gain time for life eligibility felony. So if Sarah got 40 years, I don't think she would have been eligible for gain time.
Oh, yeah, I do have that. Okay.
Mel says also, so I missed a bunch of y'all's chats. Mel says, Sam, you look so much like my best friend since we were about 13 years old. We're still best friends 53 years later. That's fantastic.
Wow. Yeah, my best friend, we met in 5th grade. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, the 70s. Yeah.
So the two questions that I'm remembering are Mel wants to know about gain time on certain felonies. Alexis W has asked about PSI in community chat. Yes, I have. That's a section we'll do next time because I have that. And then about the money, paying back a JAC.
And then the cost of community control to the person. That was a question.
I think that's
too.
about $50. Yeah. No, Mel, I got you. We found your question. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Brains turn into scrambled eggs after a while. Well, thank you all so much again for coming. If you would leave a like on your way out, I'd love it so much.
Yes, please.
And we're going to do cell phones. So we'll do PSI next week and any other sentencing related things so that we just kind of wrap that all up. And then I think the next one we'll do cell phones and all the ways they tell on you.
Yep,
it's a lot. So if you'll hit the like, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you hit the bell thingy, that will actually send you a message to let you know that we're here.
And yes, exactly.
Yes, leaving comments is awesome. Plus, I like reading them. It's really nice. And we will be back again. Well, thank you, Judy T, for hitting like on your way in. We'll be back again next week. Same time, same place. Saturday night at around 7:15. And yeah, we made it through. I got the presentations, huh?
You did. Very well. I'm proud of you.
And I didn't derail too much, huh?
No. And I wasn't nervous this time like last time.
Yeah, you did great.
Yeah.
I told you there's nothing to stress over.
Yeah. I love the chat. I love everybody in it. Love you. So
Oh, thank
Really enjoyed it.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great place. I'm
Yes.
thrilled with everybody. And Henry did not
Bite you?
yeah, he was good. So you guys
Yeah.
enjoy the rest of your weekend. Be
Enjoy.
safe. Enjoy it. Talk to us on the community posts or emails or whatever, and we'll see you again
Share our
next week.
stream here.
Oh yeah, share it too.
Share the
Absolutely.
video. Yeah.
Hi, Jason. You stuck around. Henry was the true star.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Henry was a good boy tonight. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all. Okay.
See you next
Good
week.
night. Bye.
Good night.